Welcome to Soltron. This is the video review for the custom God Master V that I made. Here's how he looks with the custom Airhide Titan V that I made earlier this year. So pretty much the same design. Alright, so here's the 360 view. I think he turned out really epic looking. You can see this is his new wing pack compared to his old one, which was much smaller. So this one is kind of the same size in a way, but it sticks out more past his shoulders, so it's more visible. So I think that's a big upgrade. So let's look at his new accessories. So he has this sword, and that was from the weapon of the AWACS, the LDCX that I reviewed earlier. And then of course this is a couple rulers glued together. So I think that's a really good color match for his back wing back here. It's a little bit lighter, but that's okay. And then I put all these little plastic effects to give some green, some more of that green transparent plastic on his look. And then he's got, of course, these effects piece on his shield, which were not a good color match with his sword, unfortunately, even though it's by the same company. So these are kind of yellowish. They don't really get the effect correctly. And these just slide onto the back of his shield. And then another cool thing is his shield can be stored on his back here. So it gives him kind of like a green halo. So that's pretty awesome. And you can kind of see his wing pack behind him. It's kind of peeking behind these shoulder pads. He's pretty bulky, so it's hard to see anything that's behind him. But I think that suits him really well. It's a nice V shape. And then another thing he can do is he can hold his sword and shield with his third and fourth arms. So that's a pretty cool look too. So here's a cool action pose, and I like to pretend, it's hard to tell what's going on, but I like to pretend his drill arms are like lasers. And then he's got his sword and his shield in his other arms. Okay, so let's go ahead and disassemble this guy and I'll show off some of how I made this happen. So I put these little clips right here, and that pegs in right here on the legs of Master V. So these just pop right off very easily. And that way they can still combine into the vehicle form because these are flush. Okay, and as for his backpack, that's just going to disconnect here at the bottom. Oh, I took off the whole back panel of this guy. That's not supposed to happen. But it's pegged in here and here. And then I'm going to have to reinsert this back panel. So this is supposed to be the connection point here. And then there's a connection point right there. Alright, and then to uncombine the sword, you're just going to untab it. And you can go ahead and take these engines off. And then these just slide right out of these little tabs I made right here. And this is the whole extra sort of effect. Alright, then let's talk about Master V himself. So you might have noticed that I gave him head articulation. So now his head can turn. It's a little bit limited, especially when he's got these head fins on. He can turn a little bit more with these taken off. So now he can get full head articulation, which is pretty great, so he can actually look where he's attacking. So I think that's a pretty important piece of articulation this guy was missing. And then because he's wielding a sword, I also give him wrist swivels, which was pretty easy to enable. I just had to deconstruct this forearm here. Alright, let's bring him in with his partner. They look pretty good together. Let's take a look at the whole team. I think they go together pretty well. I don't think this LDCX figure is too far off the mark. I think he kind of fits in. Alright, here's how he looks with Airhide. I think Airhide is the cooler robot still. but not too bad. And as far as wingspan, the LDCX robot definitely has the larger wingspan of the two. Okay, now we're in the last part of the video, so I just want to talk about the mods I made to this guy. So now he has head articulation, so I ball jointed his neck, of course, so he can get a good amount of up look, and then very smooth in all directions. So that's going to help a lot with his action poses. And then because of the combination, I give him ball joint hips. So these are Lego ball joints, which are not the best. They're a little bit loose, but now he can actually get a little bit of forward kick. His skirt still gets in the way and I didn't feel like messing around with it. But now he can actually get into some poses and actually use his knee joints. Alright, and there he goes. Now he can actually get into some poses and look where he's shooting, so that's pretty cool. And then you can see the new green plastic on the back of his legs for his leg wings. So I think those turned out very nicely. And then here are the leftover pieces that just don't really have anywhere to go when he's not in his fully combined mode. But yeah, hope you enjoyed this review. I really enjoyed this custom. He went really fast. Only took a couple days, and I'll see you in the next one.